What's up, guys? This is Chris, aka Barnon11970. I'm going to make one more video before I start my day because I was actually responding to somebody's comment and just made me think about this. When you talk about fear, and I talk about how fear is a choice, I want people to think about this, and there's constant history of this. When you are born, we are born with no fear. Like I was saying to somebody in one of the comments, you could take a baby and put it next to a lion, next to a bear, next to a cobra, and it wouldn't be afraid of it. It would probably be curious and want to touch it. But from day one, our parents teach us about fear. Now, some learning of fear is good because it's the whole fight and flight. Because if a baby went to pet a cobra or tried to pet a lion or a tiger or a bear, oh my, they could potentially be hurt and even killed. So our parents teach us fear in a way that is protective. So, but make no mistake, we're taught fear. We're not born with fear. So it's programmed into us. It starts out with our parents with good intention, drowning in good intention. But then you have the media and the government who constantly, on an hourly, daily basis, your entire life, program you with fear. How there's oil spills over here, and the air is polluted over here, and there's potential aliens over here, and there's terrorists over there, and there's financial problems, and there's food problems, and there's health problems, and all these things. Why do they do that? Plain and simple. When you know how to control people's emotions, they become vulnerable, and then they feel helpless and powerless. And that's why when you even see programs like the one video I deleted was talking about Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the first things, if you look at the first step, is admitting that you're powerless over your situation. What they're trying to do is get you to take away your responsibility. Why do they do this? It's a way to control, because fear equals control. If you're scared, and scared enough to not know what to do because everywhere something's out to get you, you become paranoid, you become depressed, you become angry, you become obsessive about trying to get more and more of this fear porn that I call it. And what happens is you feel that you need somebody to come along and save you. So here come the saviors. Government. They say, we'll protect you, we'll keep those evil terrorists away, we'll keep the skies and the atmosphere and the water better for you. You need us. And we feel that, wow, I don't have to do any work. I can have them do all of this for me. And they make us believe that we need them. But I want you to think about this. Who creates wars? Governments. Who creates, like when they talk about global warming, which is a myth, and they're talking about how we're polluting the atmosphere. Well, who builds those cars? Who builds those factories with all that smoke coming out of the smokestacks? Who allows those things to happen? Well, governments do all that. Who creates the oil spills? Have you ever had a tanker and drove it along and had it crash into a iceberg or some other area? Or is it governments? So think about this. How many people know that people like Osama bin Laden were once factions of the CIA and got paid from us? How do you think they got those weapons of mass destruction? We sent them. So we even create the terrorists. So they're scaring you with all this fear that they ultimately create. Even things like weather control. If you don't want to believe in it, that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to preach to anybody to believe anything. But they're talking about bad weather, and if they have the scientific ability, because it's nothing more than basically heating the atmosphere, which changes wind patterns, which can create more rain clouds or less rain clouds, which can create storms. It's not that difficult if you know the science behind it. You just have to have the technology. It's all about them scaring you to death, thinking you need them, but they're the ones that cause it. So do we really need government? Now, I'm not saying that we should have total anarchy where people can run around and do whatever they want. There has to have some form of law. But it shouldn't be the way it is, and it shouldn't be the way they do it to get you to think that way. I mean, that's like watching any mafia movie where some faction or some gang doesn't have to be mafia, but some gang or some criminal element goes to, let's say, some mom and pop store and starts trashing the place. And they say, well, if you want to be protected, pay us money and we'll protect you. Well, you didn't need that protection until they came in and started destroying your business. So you're paying them to protect you from them. Think about that. That is government all around the world. They scare you to death. They create the wars. They, at very least, finance the terrorists to do the work to scare you. Allow all these things that they say are unsafe for the environment and unsafe for the animals and unsafe for you. They allow those things from big corporations where they look the other way. They steal all your wealth, leave you helpless, and then come along with their arm around you, kiss your little baby, and say, we're here to save you. If you think government is on your side, you're either part of the government or you are so indoctrinated at this point that there's no saving you. But think about that. If you appreciate this, share this with a friend. Watch it with the doubters and the people that think government is on their side. Make them think about that. They're not on your side. They're asking for protection against themselves. That, to me, is crazy. Peace.